Yo, shout out to all the 12-year-olds in the building. What's up?
I study rap battles for a living.
When the smoke cleared from the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar battle, fans thought it was over. Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, the track that had the whole world chanting, OVO is over. And Drake responded, but couldn't match the wave. Everybody crowned Kendrick the winner. But while the culture was celebrating, Drake was plotting. And instead of fighting on wax, he took the war to the courts. What started as a rap beef has turned into one of the wildest lawsuits hip-hop has ever seen, with Drake going straight at Universal Music Group, the biggest label in the game, accusing them of sabotaging his career. Drake's legal filings don't just point at UMG, though. They list over 40 people and companies, from Kendrick Lamar and PG Lang to Roc Nation, Spotify, YouTube, the NFL, Apple Music, even Billboard. That's not just a lawsuit, that's an industry hit list. Drake is basically saying, all of y'all teamed up to bury me. According to him, Not Like Us wasn't just a diss track that blew up naturally. He claims it was part of a coordinated smear campaign, boosted by bots, influencers, and shady deals to make sure Kendrick's record became an anthem. In Drake's eyes, this wasn't hip-hop competition. It was corporate warfare. One of the names at the center of it is Josh Kaplan, an entertainment lawyer who's been moving behind the scenes for years. Drake's team says Kaplan knows exactly how Not Like Us got promoted, who paid who, and what strings were pulled. But here's the kicker. Kaplan's been dodging subpoenas like he's in a spy movie. Drake's lawyers can't even get him in a room. They're accusing him of hiding to protect UMG and Kendrick's camp. To make it even crazier, Drake's legal team says Kaplan is sitting on proof that bots were used to make Not Like Us trend across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. If that's true, it would mean Kendrick's victory wasn't just about bars, it was about algorithms. But Drake isn't just talking about bots and lawyers. He's saying UMG wanted to destroy his value before his contract renegotiations. Think about that. Drake signed one of the biggest music deals ever, rumored to be worth $400 million with UMG. If his public image tanks, if his credibility gets shattered, suddenly his leverage in those negotiations disappears. That's why Drake is suing not just for defamation, but also for harassment and deceptive business practices. He's basically saying, y'all used Kendrick to kill my value so you could lowball me later. And here's where it gets grimy. UMG's defense strategy. Insiders say they're preparing to drag Drake's name through the mud using the very rumors Kendrick threw in Not Like Us. That means the lyrics about Drake's alleged relationships with minors, his ties to industry secrets, and the whispers that have followed him for years could all end up in open court. If UMG argues that Kendrick's bars weren't baseless because the rumors already existed, that means Drake's private life could be dissected in front of the world. This lawsuit isn't just a money play, it's about survival. For the first time in his career, Drake isn't just battling rappers. He's battling the system that made him a superstar. He's saying the same machine that built him up is now trying to tear him down. And if he loses, it won't just cost him millions. It could cost him the legacy he's been chasing for 15 years.
I study rap battles for a living.
If Drake's lawsuit was just about bots and shady marketing, it'd already be wild. But the way he worded these filings, he's pointing his finger straight at Kendrick Lamar, PG Lang, and even Roc Nation. He's basically saying this wasn't one man in Compton cooking up a hit. This was an industry conspiracy where multiple camps teamed up to bury him alive. Let's start with Kendrick. Not Like Us was the nail in Drake's coffin during their battle. It didn't just trend, it became the soundtrack of the summer, blasting at NBA Finals games, block parties, TikTok dances, even in clubs overseas. Drake's camp says that wasn't organic. They claim PG Lang, Kendrick's company, worked with UMG and outside firms to pump the song into every corner of the internet. Influencers were allegedly paid to push memes, streams were juiced by bots, and playlists across Spotify and Apple conveniently prioritized Kendrick's record over Drake's rebuttals. To Drake, this wasn't fair competition. It was corporate-engineered humiliation. Then there's Roc Nation. Jay-Z's empire has always been linked to power plays in the industry, but now Drake's putting them in the hot seat too. The lawsuit names Roc Nation execs as having knowledge of the push behind Not Like Us. Drake's angle is that Roc Nation and PG Lang have been tight since Kendrick launched his label, and that Jay-Z's team used their industry reach to pile on against him. That's where it gets messy, because Jay and Drake have always had this weird mix of respect and rivalry. Publicly, they play cool, but in private, it's no secret they've traded subliminals in music and never fully trusted each other. By dragging Roc Nation into the lawsuit, Drake is hinting at something deeper, that Jay-Z might have quietly let Kendrick be the frontman for a bigger move against him. The idea that hip-hop's mogul class wanted Drake checked makes this more than rap beef. It makes it a power struggle for who controls the narrative of the culture. Drake's filings even connect the dots to the NFL and the NBA. Sounds crazy, right? But remember when Not Like Us was being played during NBA games? Drake says that wasn't just DJs being petty. He claims partnerships between UMG, Roc Nation, and League Entertainment divisions made it happen. If true, that means his defeat was broadcast not just by the fans, but by the institutions themselves. Imagine beefing with another rapper, and suddenly the NBA is playing their diss track at halftime. That's humiliation on a global scale. And here's where Drake's paranoia starts to sound believable. He's been the top dog for so long that it makes sense other powerful camps would want to take him down a peg. Kendrick might have had the bars, but according to Drake, he also had corporate backing, making sure those bars hit harder than anything he could drop in response. The most shocking part? Drake isn't suing for chump change. He's going after UMG, PG Lang, and Roc Nation with accusations of defamation, harassment, and fraud. He wants damages, but more than that, he wants to expose the machinery. He's trying to prove that Kendrick wasn't just battling him man to man, he had an army behind him. But lawsuits cut both ways. By naming Kendrick, Roc Nation, and others, Drake opened the door for their legal teams to fire back. If this goes to trial, Kendrick's camp could argue that every lyric in Not Like Us had basis in real rumors. That means they'd drag Drake's personal life into court. The underage accusations, the whisper campaigns, even his alleged parties. If that happens, the fallout could be worse than losing the rap battle. It could destroy his reputation permanently. And that's the irony. By trying to protect his legacy through the courts, Drake might have created the perfect stage for all his enemies to put every ugly rumor on the record. When Drake's lawyers filed those papers, one name jumped out that most casual fans didn't recognize. Josh Kaplan. He's not a rapper, not a label exec in the spotlight, but an entertainment lawyer who's been moving behind the scenes for years. According to Drake, Kaplan is the key to this whole thing. The man who knows how Not Like Us turned from a diss track into a cultural nuke. Drake's legal team says Kaplan has direct knowledge of the marketing push behind Kendrick's record, and not just regular promo. We're talking alleged bot farms, influencer contracts, and social media manipulation. Basically, they're saying Kendrick didn't just win in the streets, he won because the internet was rigged in his favor. TikTok dances, meme pages, trending hashtags, all of that, according to Drake, was boosted artificially to bury him and make Not Like Us the anthem of the summer. But here's where it gets even crazier. Kaplan has been dodging subpoenas. Drake's lawyers claim they can't even serve him papers because he keeps moving slick. That made fans clown the situation, saying it feels less like a lawsuit and more like a Netflix drama. But in legal terms, it means Drake believes Kaplan is hiding because he's protecting UMG and PG Lang from being exposed. Think about it. If bot farms really were used, that changes the whole narrative. Hip-hop has always been about skill, bars, and respect. But if Not Like Us was artificially boosted by bots and algorithms, then Kendrick's win wasn't purely about the music. Drake's case hinges on that idea that the culture was manipulated, that fans weren't just hyped up naturally, they were being influenced by a machine. Drake's filings even mention specific platforms. YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok are all named as companies with relevant knowledge. Translation, he thinks they know bots and shady marketing pushed Kendrick's record higher while suppressing his own responses. He even accused Apple Music and Billboard of playing favorites with chart placements, saying the system was designed to crown Kendrick no matter what Drake dropped. To regular fans, it sounded like paranoia. But when you look at the numbers, you can see why Drake feels like something was off. Not Like Us didn't just blow up. It dominated in a way that felt unstoppable. DJs across the country were spinning it. Sports arenas were blasting it, and influencers couldn't stop making content around it. It didn't just win the rap battle, it turned into a global event. Drake's side is saying that kind of momentum doesn't happen without a serious marketing engine behind it. Kaplan, in Drake's eyes, is the one who can confirm all of that. He's the legal guy who handled contracts, NDAs, and payments. If Drake can force him to talk, he thinks Kaplan will expose the whole playbook. Who paid who, how the bots were run, and how deep UMG's hand was in the push. But until Kaplan shows up, it's just speculation, and that's the risk. If Drake can't get Kaplan to testify, the bot allegations look like excuses. Like he couldn't take the L, so now he's blaming algorithms and fake fans. On the flip side, if Kaplan does get pulled in and actually admits something, this case could blow the lid off how the music industry manipulates the internet. We'd finally see if those viral moments we all love are organic, or if they're just another product bought and sold behind the scenes. Either way, the Kaplan angle is what makes this lawsuit dangerous for the industry. Because if Drake proves bots were involved, it doesn't just make Kendrick's win look shady. It makes the entire music machine look like a rigged casino, and fans might never look at their favorite hits the same way again.
Would you ever get in there?
No.
How much, what's the bag to get you in there?
What's the bag?
Yeah.
Who do you want? Oh, I don't even ask.
Eddie, we.
I was gonna say, who do you want me to fight?
Oh, I know who I want you to fight.
I wouldn't do that. If we're fighting, we'll fight at Hino's gym or something like behind closed garage doors.
Yeah.
Behind closed garage doors.
I study rap battles for a living.
At the heart of all this chaos is one thing: money. Drake's lawsuit isn't just about hurt feelings or bruised ego from losing a rap battle. It's about protecting the biggest bag of his career, his $400 million deal with Universal Music Group. When he re-signed with UMG in 2022, it was called one of the richest contracts in music history, covering his albums, publishing, and even future ventures. But here's the catch: those deals always come with renegotiations, and Drake believes UMG wanted to cut his value down before those talks came back around. In his eyes, Kendrick's Not Like Us wasn't just a diss track, it was a weapon. By letting it dominate the airwaves, by pushing it through bots and industry connections, UMG was lowering his market value. Think about it. If you're Drake and the culture sees you as washed or finished, how do you walk into a boardroom and demand another 9-figure extension? You don't. You settle for less. That's why Drake is calling this not just defamation, but business sabotage. But lawsuits are a two-way street, and UMG's rumored defense is where things get dark. Insiders say their legal team is ready to argue that Kendrick's lyrics weren't baseless, because the rumors about Drake already existed. That means every ugly whisper, from his alleged relationships with underage girls to the Diddy Party rumors, could end up in open court. If UMG uses that strategy, this case could drag every skeleton in Drake's closet into the light. Imagine that. Years of gossip, subliminals, and internet speculation suddenly being debated under oath. Witnesses called, documents subpoenaed, lawyers asking Drake directly about the same rumors fans have joked about for a decade. That's the nightmare scenario for him, trying to win a lawsuit while risking his reputation getting shredded worse than any diss track ever could. On top of that, the ripple effects would be massive. If Drake loses, not only does he risk millions in legal fees, but his entire empire could take a hit. Endorsements, streaming partnerships, brand deals. Corporations don't like being tied to someone battling ugly accusations in court. And fans? They're ruthless. Once your image is cracked, they meme you to death. Just look at how quickly OV ho jokes spread after Not Like Us. Multiply that by a courtroom circus, and you see why Drake's fighting like his career depends on it. But if he wins, that's where things get wild. If Drake proves UMG, PG Lang, and Rock Nation conspired against him using bots and shady practices, it blows the lid off the entire industry. Fans would start questioning whether any viral hit is really organic, or if it's all bought and sold behind closed doors. It would also flip the narrative on Drake. Instead of looking like a washed legend who took an L, he'd look like the underdog who beat the machine. That could be the ultimate redemption arc. Still, the risks are massive. Drake put his whole reputation on the line by filing this case. He could have let the beef fade, dropped another album, and tried to move on. But instead, he doubled down and turned it into a war against the most powerful label in music. Now his name, his money, and his legacy are caught up in the mess. At the end of the day, this lawsuit proves one thing. Drake's not willing to go out quietly. Whether he wins or loses, he's making sure the world knows he thinks the game was rigged against him. And in a way, that's fitting, because Drake's whole career has been about proving doubters wrong. The only difference now is that the battlefield isn't a studio or a stage, it's a courtroom.